To the highlight for many of the evening, certainly for the home crowd here, the men's 3,000 steeplechase.
Yeah, always a brilliant climax to the evening here in the Moroccan Diamond League meets. He's done it in Rabat for the last couple of years. Here he is, he's Moroccan royalty, Soufiane El Bakkali. Great reception from the crowd. The horns are out, away to our right. Olympic champion, double world champion, Budapest and Eugene, and the Diamond League champion. Look out for this man, Ibrahim Kibiwot, Commonwealth Games champion, Kenyan #1, second last weekend in Doha. Kipruto, the former Olympic champion, we'll come back to him in a moment. He's got a rather different task at hand here this evening. And then look out for this young man, 20 years old, Samuel Freu, who won in Doha. Really exciting talent, finished brilliantly, quickly emerging as a main challenger from an Ethiopian perspective to Tamalashe Mugima, who we saw earlier on in the 1500 meters. Hilary Bohr from the US, former US #1, he's still looking to get back to the sort of form he had a couple of seasons ago. So plenty of quality. Benjamin Keegan also in here, the last man to beat El Bakkali. That was in Zurich in 2021. So away we go, final track event of the evening to conclude here. El Bakkali with a question mark over his form and fitness. Has there been an injury? He talked to me, as Steve said, at some length about what had happened. A stress fracture, he got an MRI, he even showed me on his phone the results and the certificate of the MRI. That cleared up, he rested for about 4 weeks and then got a slight inflammation of a tendon. Look at him directing proceedings there, just putting his right hand out there. In terms of pace, looking at world lead, 64-65 second laps is the first group going for the world lead, and then a second group. I mentioned Kipruto, Steve. His main challenge here is to get the qualifying time for Paris. That's 8:15. They'll be going more even-paced, in theory at least, at 66 seconds per lap.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see whether how much respect is given to El Bakkali in his home track, given, you know, if they've heard the rumours or the information we've been given. Has he missed training? What sort of shape is he in? Well, the only way to find out is to put that to the test. So you've got to make it, you know, a good, hard pace. So Wale is already up there. Freu, 4th place, just settled in. And El Bakkali just sitting off the pace. But, yeah, you know, I think if he... unless he knew he was ready for this, I'm not sure he would be here contesting this, El Bakkali. So I do expect him to perform well. But let's see.
Well, he was talking in the press conference about his experience. One of the great rivalries has been between him and Guillermo over the years, and El Bakkali on the big stage has always got the better of Guillermo. And I think you and I have said in commentary previously that Guillermo's probably got the better flat speed, hasn't he? And he's got such that great range, 1,500, 3,000 and 5,000 flat now. But El Bakkali is the better hurdler and has got the better technique, particularly in the latter stages of a race.
Yeah, it's interesting, you know, that's where he, you know, has the advantage. I'm just, I mentioned it before, that, you know, when you look at how he structures his seasons, particularly over the last 2-3 years, it is this kind of come out, bang, big time, under 8 minutes, often in Rabat, and then I think it was in Doha one year, and then he kind of doesn't come back and race necessarily until he's ready again just before the championships. So this will be important to him to set himself up for the season, how he likes to put his season together. Be important because he's got 3 or 4 good athletes in here, not his main rival, but he's got people who he knows that if he's going to have a bit of an off day, are going to give him a real good race. So solid through that first 1,000 though, Chris, pretty much on pace.
Yeah, 2:42, bang on the money. Good pacemaking for Abarefia Boissel, who's leading them well. Wale, who, of course, who's Mr. Consistency and missed out so much. Thought he was going to get his first Diamond League win last week in Doha. He had an opportunity and in the end faded. Just didn't have that kick, and Kibiwot overtook him, as did Freu. The man, incidentally, without the bib on the front of his vest, that is Hilary Bohr from the USA. Big interest, of course, this weekend from the USA perspective. But they're all strung out. So the first group going through on world league pace, which would be 8:07 or thereabouts, and then further back the second group, such as there is one, just looking out for Conceição Kipruto there. There he is in that second group, just looking around in the purple vest, the former Olympic champion, hoping to get that qualifying time of 8:15.
Just watching Freyu, a bit like in Doha, you know, you think he's having a bit of a struggle in and out, and you know, not quite getting to sight the barriers easily at times. Kibiwat seems to be a little bit better at that. He's comfortable in a pack, comfortable in, and as I say that, it gives Wale a shove in the back. Look, says, get away, get out of my legs here. And El Bakkali went to the front. I think that's El Bakkali slowing it down. You know, the pacemaker's gone. He went to the front, and they're going, no, we're not going to let you do that. We're not going to let you control this, because we know that our best chance here is to make this as fast as we can. And Wale knows he always gets out-kicked, so he's just going to try and keep the pressure on here. But it's slowed, definitely slowed.
Yeah, and that's all down to Bakkali. We often talk about the second kilometre in this steeple being very, very important. They were bang on schedule after the first through 2:42. Hilary Bohr is good. It's been a while since we've seen him produce something really special. It's his first steeple for actually a year, since Rabat 12 months ago. He ran 8:11 there. Would be doing really well if he were to repeat that here in Marrakesh this evening. So Wale with a little bit of a gap, who's doing all the heavy lifting here. Kibiwat in second place. El Bakkali on the shoulder, the tall figure, and then Freyu, look out for him, the diminutive figure relatively, just on the shoulder of Hilary Bohr, and Serem is also in there as well. Then further back, Conceição Kipruto, the former world and Olympic champion.
Well, Wale is doing all of them a bit of a favour here, because they did it completely bunched up, but now just stretching the field out again. 2:48, so 6 seconds slower for that second kilometre, but most of that was in the lap or the period when the pacemaker slowed and then dropped out, and El Bakkali just held things up a little bit. You know, he's so quick at the end. That's all I think all he really cares about here tonight is make sure he wins this in front of a home crowd. So it looks as though he's working a little bit hard here.
Yeah, it just puts a little extra dynamic, doesn't it? A little bit of extra something to think about with the question mark over the fitness of El Bakkali, but he told me himself he's feeling absolutely fine. He said, if I run more than 40 minutes continuously, then there's a little bit of discomfort, but no more than that. But of course, this race is going to be won just outside 8 minutes, so he should be fine. He said, I'm 100% and completely recovered from that injury at the beginning of the season. Hilary Bohr leading the way. It's been a while since we said that.
I was about to say, you never say with 600 to go, Hilary Bohr's leading the Diamond League steeplechase, and it's great for him that he is. Look at how much he's stretching things out here. He ran really well in Doha, now just trying to push things on here. So I think El Bakkali will be pretty pleased with this, though. It's going to be a good test on the last lap, and there's nobody better than him at taking the barriers at pace on the last lap.
Well, Hilary Bohr comes round, Wale on his shoulder, El Bakkali just gathering here as they get ready to take the bell, the final jump before they take the bell. The crowd around us starting to rise now. The climax is there. Wale takes it on just as he did in Doha. You can hear the noise. The vuvuzelas are going crazy around us. El Bakkali, will the script be repeated? Last 2 years, he's been absolutely brilliant in Rabat with sub-8-minute runs. He's grimacing a little bit, but he's just where he wants. But let's keep an eye on the man in the black there, Freyu. Freyu came late. The chanting has started. Wale's under pressure. Serem is now coming into fore, and Hilary Bohr is going backwards. Freyu just going out a little wider. Wale takes that nicely. El Bakkali, the great technician, down the back straight, 200 to go. El Bakkali in the perfect position. Wale, Freyu, let's not discount him. Serem on his shoulder as well. Final water jump is taken. Bakkali safely through. Wale on his back. A little bit of a gap there to Serem. Freyu has lost this one, it seems. Wale grimacing. Mr. Fourth place. What can he do? Attacking the barrier and then stumbles. Wale. But El Bakkali's having to dig perhaps a little bit deeper than he would have done. El Bakkali there, the crowd on their feet. And he gets the win again. 8:09.40. The third successive year that Bakkali has won the Diamond League in Morocco. Rabat last year, Rabat 2022, now in Marrakesh. It's gone to script. It's not a sub-8 showing. We weren't expecting that, given what had been happening. But that was a race. That was a race, certainly. El Bakkali, though, is up and running in 2024. Wale pushed him hard. Serem it was who came home to take third place. And Freu, who won in Doha last weekend, having to settle for fourth. Pick that one apart.
I think he's been injured.
Yeah, he had to work hard.
Yeah, he's working very hard. I mean, normally he would take seconds out of Wale on the last lap. Had this not been in front of his home crowd, he might not have dug that deep. Look at him shaking his head. That was really hard work, and hats off for him to coming and delivering for his fans. This meeting is about this steeplechase event. Germa was here in Marrakesh, but he ran in the 1500, ran very well in the 1500. Germa against El Bakkali tonight, he would have beaten him.
He would.
But that's not the point. For El Bakkali, this was really, really tough. And even coming in the last barrier here, and it's Wale, who's not the quickest necessarily. He's run brilliantly well here. Last 1,000 not that quick. The overall race, as you've mentioned, the time not that quick. But at least it's given him the opportunity now to go, okay, I'm back, I'm racing, I've won. And the thing that you still can say about El Bakkali, he's still the best on the last lap going over the barriers.
Yes, he is. Well, the crowd love it. Perhaps not quite as electric as it's been in Rabat the last couple of years, when he's literally brought the house down with a scintillating last 600 metres. But El Bakkali still undefeated since September 2021. And he's going to have a few words with the crowd here. And they absolutely love him. They're going crazy away to our right.
Yeah, I just wonder what he'll do next. I suspect we might not see him for a few weeks. I suspect he needs to go and get some training in his legs. Improve, get obviously a bit quicker, perhaps a bit stronger as well. His last race was a cross-country race, incidentally. Anyway, he's finished with a win. That's the most important thing here in Marrakesh.